Hi guys, so I thought I'd make a video for you showing how to make some straps, some taping straps for protecting the palm of your hand while you're doing high rep kettlebell snatches or swings or anything like that. The tape that I use for this is just a nice strong zinc oxide tape. The brand that I've been using is called Tiger Tape and you can get it from physique.co.uk. I think I go for the 5cm width tape, but I'll put a link in the video as well. So first thing we want to do is tear off a strip of the tape. I tend to tear off a nice long strip. I always have more than I need to work with because you always want it to be a bit longer rather than too short. I tend to measure it by going from the tip of my middle finger down to just below my elbow. So it's about the length of my forearm and my hand. It doesn't really matter too much. You can always trim it down afterwards. So the first thing we're going to do, I've put it with the adhesive side up and we're going to fold it almost in half. So what you want to do is as you fold it, you want to leave just a little lip of adhesive still exposed. So it's pretty much folded in half. I don't know if you can see that, but just along the top edge here, there's just a millimetre or two where we've still got a little bit of adhesive showing. The reason for that is, once I've folded it in half that way, I'm now going to fold it in on itself and I'm going to touch those two adhesive bits together so that they stick together there, and it's along that perforated edge there. So we're going to stick those together almost the whole way down, apart from in the center there, and we're going to leave a little loop where it's not quite all joined together, and that's just got to be big enough for you to put your finger through. So once I've left that little loop and I've stuck this together, all I'm going to do is fold it inside out. So I'm going to grab the loop there and I'm just going to fold it inside out on itself, so now it's facing the other way around. So it's just being held together by these two bits, these two adhesive bits, these few millimeters here that are just sticking to each other. So we want to make that a bit securer now. So I'm going to tear off two other strips of tape that are about the length of this, this strap we've got now. And we're just going to stick those across and they're going to strengthen that up so it doesn't come apart. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now we've got a little bit of excess tape here at the end, but you can always cut that off if you want, but to be honest, if it's dangling around, it's not really going to affect you too much. And there you go. You can poke your finger through the end there, and then have that going across your palm. Now if you want to, you can always wear two of these. I never have personally, but if you find you really suffer, then you can wear two of those, and it'll cover pretty much the entirety of your palm. But most people find they're fine with one, just putting it on the middle finger there. The other thing is attaching it around the wrist. So when you attach it around the wrist, if you don't want it waving loose, which most people don't, you can use a sweatband. You can just pull a sweatband over your arm and have that around your wrist to hold it in place there. But you want to leave a little bit of slack here. So you don't want it tight to your palm. We want to leave just a little bit of slack so it's got a little bit of room to move, so that as the kettlebell puts some pressure into your palm, it's not going to pull on your finger too much, or it's not going to pull away from the bottom here. What I quite often do is I'll then use some more tape and I'll just strap that round my wrist so it's actually taped around my wrist there. And then obviously we'll make another one so that you've got one for each hand, and those are just some palm protectors that help prevent you tearing any calluses when you're doing those high rep snatches. Hope that helps, guys. Cheers.